Hi and welcome to the Resources Roadhouse. I'm Wally Graham, and today I'm joined by Brett Smith, Managing Director of Corazon Mining. Now, Brett, you've been busy on the domestic and the international front. You're out drilling at your Lynn Lake project over in Canada. We'll get to that in a minute. But just most recently in WA, you've picked up a new nickel project. Can you fill us in on what's going on there?
Yeah, we announced it a little while ago that we're interested in this project and we're having a look. Miriam is a little land package south of Coolgardie out in the eastern goldfields of Western Australia. Nickel was discovered there in 1969. It was probably best drilled probably through the early 70s. They defined, I guess, what we term a pre-JORC quantity of nickel out there, not a resource as we would qualify it now. And really, over the last 20 years, it hasn't been explored at all. It was never developed, but there's some quite good grades of nickel in the drilling. So yeah, we've had this opportunity to put it all together and have a look at it, and we like what we see.
All right, so basically it's a project that had a bit of work on it historically. As you're just saying, not enough now to make it a JORC thing. So you have to go out and prove it all up again and make it all worthwhile.
Yeah, there's a few things going on. It's Miriam's a bit different in that the geophysical method that found it is not the go-to geophysical tool we use these days for nickel sulfide. So most nickel sulfide deposits are best explored by electromagnetics because it identifies massive sulfide. Miriam is actually found with IP, which is a bit unusual. Now, there is massive sulfide in the drilling. There's some good grades and some good widths, but we think along strike, there's a lot of indications from drilling, not all that well targeted historically, but drilling that identifies a lot of disseminated sulfides, which IP would pick up. And some of these, in the drilling of the Miriam deposit itself, some of these disseminations of sulfide mineralization carry quite a high grade.
All right, so it looks like being like the traditional story of a project that's been sort of off everybody's radar, forgotten, so to speak, and a little bit of modern exploration techniques could bring it into the modern world.
Yeah, in most recent times it was held by gold explorers. There's a prospect called the Forest Gold Prospect. We haven't really looked at that at this stage. We're focused on the nickel, but in the eastern side of the project area, there's quite a well-defined gold opportunity there that we'll look at sometime in the future.
And so sticking with the nickel, of course, over in Canada, your Lynn Lake project over there, you've already been doing quite a bit of work over there, but you're about to drill in a new area or a different area that you haven't drilled in before. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've drilled close. It's something we've been pulling together probably since about 2017 in this area. And we've had some good success, I guess, low-grade mineralization, extensive sulfide mineralization throughout the area. We believe we're onto something that could be very similar to the Lynn Lake Mining Centre, which is about 10 k's to the north. We've recently, in the last program at the start of this year, generated some downhole EM conductors. It's a downhole geophysical method. It's quite accurate in identifying conductors. These conductors may be sulfide deposits. These conductors may be nickel, copper, cobalt sulfide deposits, and so that's what we're targeting. So we drilled one hole in this area, I guess, at the end of last year, and we went back at the start of this year and did downhole geophysics on that, and it showed we come within 35 meters of some major conductors. So that's what this drilling program's about initially.
So the next lot of news we sort of expect to flow through out of Corazon Mining. What do we expect?
Well, I think we try to be quite transparent in our announcements and our information, our reports, etc. So Lynn Lake, the drilling at there is the major focus, but behind the scenes we have a lot of, I guess, engineering studies and whatnot going on with respect to the main mining centre. You know, we've got 16 plus million tonnes of high quality JORC resource defined there that could be a redevelopment opportunity or a startup of the old mine site. And so we're looking at that with different eyes, I guess you can say. We're looking at how we can mine that more efficiently, more cost effectively, and how we can bring that thing into development. So that's all behind the scenes. If we get a milestone on that with respect to these studies, we'll announce it. But I envisage that this will be a constant process up to those key points.
Yeah, and of course, and Miriam, of course, you're sort of waiting to receive the nod to be able to get out there and drill anyway, aren't you?
Yeah, we can push that now. We've triggered the option to acquire, so we can really push the granting of the lease as much as we can. And we've already initiated some work geophysically reviewing, I guess, a 2000 geophysical survey over the Miriam deposit, having a look at that. We're planning different, and we do need some lead time for this kind of work. We're planning and trying to acquire geophysical crews to do this work as soon as the lease becomes available, with a mind to getting in and drilling that project as soon as we can.
All right. Well, there's plenty to come by the sound of it. So we'll keep everybody up to speed here at the Resources Roadhouse when it comes out and when when you release it. So until then, Brett Smith, thanks very much for joining us here at the Resources Roadhouse again, and hopefully catch up with you again very soon.
Yeah. Thanks, Wally. See you again soon.
Cheers.